thank you for joining us here today to celebrate Emancipation Day. My name is Jared Watton, and I'm the coordinator of Indigenous Outreach and Research at the Office of Diversity and Inclusion ANTIO, and today I'm providing the land acknowledgement for this event. As I stand here today, I'm a proud Mi'kmaq man and a member of Kuzkat First Nation, and I want to welcome you to Chivukta, Halifax, and Mi'kma'ki, the traditional and ancestral lands of the Mi'kmaq people since time immemorial. What I just read is known as a land welcome or land acknowledgement, and is likely different from previous land acknowledgements that you may have heard. I am going to take a few minutes to give you a deeper understanding of what this is and why I chose to do this protocol today. Historically, a land welcome or land acknowledgement is a traditional practice shared amongst many Indigenous people across North America. To recognize the land and territory that we are visiting, as people we had extensive trading practices with surrounding communities, and it is important to acknowledge and show our gratitude for visiting each other's groups, territories, and as well as communities. We refer to this area as Mi'kma'ki, which covers Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, PEI, Newfoundland, parts of Quebec, and Maine. A land acknowledgement marks a small but important step in the process of reconciliation, building positive relationships with Indigenous people. By making a land acknowledgement, you are partaking in an act of reconciliation, honoring the land and Indigenous presence which dates back over 13,000 years. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the shared experiences of Indigenous people and individuals of African descent here in Nova Scotia and across Turtle Island and the world. Our ancestors lost their land, culture, language, but most importantly their rights, and we still suffer from the impacts of these tragedies today. But despite all that we lost, we resisted, we fought, and we remained strong. And we are the resilient people we are today because of this. Today we celebrate that, and much more. In closing, I will say that if you or your organization decides to incorporate a land acknowledgement into a future event, it is important to understand exactly what you are doing and what you are saying. You should reflect on the history of the land, take a moment to understand the Indigenous communities in the area, and many areas or organizations may already have official land acknowledgements, but please don't just read these standard statements. Take time to acknowledge and put thought into these statements. Otherwise, they become just a simple tick box. A check marks that we completed a statement. Please make sure if you do one, add in your own personal reflections and learning about the land while you're preparing it. For Wallen, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. We humbly acknowledge and celebrate the profound contributions of people of African descent in shaping Nova Scotia's rich history and vibrant culture. From the earliest presence to the present, African Nova Scotians have been integral founding members, leaving an enduring mark on our community for over 400 years. Their teachings, resilience, and unwavering strength inspire us, providing a historical stronghold that remind us of the victories achieved amidst challenges. Their labor, culture, and heartache have laid the foundation upon which we proudly stand today. Drawing upon the wisdom of an African proverb, we recognize that our strength is rooted in the collective triumphs of our ancestors. We are guided by their enduring spirit as we face contemporary challenges and strive for a more inclusive, equitable, and united future. In this space, we commit to honoring the rich contributions of people of African descent, fostering a community that celebrates diversity, equity, and unity. Together, let us build upon the legacy of our ancestors, drawing strength from their experiences as we work toward a more just and compassionate society for all. The transatlantic slave trade caused the deaths of millions of African people and their descendants. Many lost their lives as resistance fighters during long treks to slave ships, or from mistreatment and malnourishment during the journey across the Atlantic. It is estimated that over 2 million African people died during that journey. I would like to have a moment of silence. I will now call upon Mayor Mike Savage to read the proclamation.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Grand Parade here in Mi'kma'ki, the traditional, the unsurrendered land of the Mi'kmaq people, where we also honor 4 centuries of African Nova Scotia contribution to our society. I welcome everybody. I do want to acknowledge a few folks we have with us today. We have Senator Wanda Thomas Bernard. We have our U.S. Consul General, I know I saw her, Lara Carr, thank you. Claudia Chender, the leader of the New Democratic Party of Nova Scotia, and Susie Hanson. I want to acknowledge our CAO, Kathy O'Toole, and many members of our staff. Chief Dan Kinsella from Halifax Regional Police, and thank you to all the police who are here. And also our Deputy Fire Chief, Roy Hollett. Who is Roy? Dave Meldrum. Dave Meldrum. I spent the week with Roy Hollett in the EOC during the fires, and Dave was out fighting them and briefing people. Dave, thanks, good to see you, and other members of the firefighters. And ladies and gentlemen, everybody who's here, I will read the proclamation for Emancipation Day. It's nice to see so many folks, many of whom we saw at the Africville Gala, the 40th anniversary on Friday night. Emancipation Day, August 1st, 2023. Whereas for over 400 years, more than 15 million African people of all ages were the victims of the transatlantic slave trade, one of the darkest chapters in the history of humanity. African people were forcibly removed from their homes, separated from their families and communities, and alienated from their cultures and traditions. Millions of Africans died in transit, even as slavery became a lucrative venture and source of nation building in Europe and the Americas. Whereas the Halifax Regional Municipality recognizes that people of African descent have been a part of Canadian society since the early 1600s and that their enslavement occurred on this land for centuries. Whereas on August the 1st, 1834, the Slavery Abolition Act became law and effectively made slavery illegal in most British colonies, resulting in the freedom of over 800,000 enslaved Africans in the Caribbean and as well in Canada. Whereas the province has, as of April 19, 2021, legislated August 1st as Emancipation Day. Whereas the United Nations General Assembly Resolution 68237 proclaimed 2015 to 2024 as the International Decade for People of African Descent, and designated people of African descent as a distinct group whose human rights must be promoted and protected in alignment with the pillars of recognition, justice, and development. Whereas Emancipation Day is an acknowledgement of the struggle for human rights made by freedom-seeking Canadians of African descent. The day also provides an opportunity to acknowledge the legacy and history of slavery in Canada, while celebrating the rich contributions that people of African descent have made to our city and country. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor Mike, on behalf of Halifax Regional Council, I saw Kathy Daigle-Gammon here. I'm not sure if there's other councillors there will be this evening. We do proclaim August the 1st as Emancipation Day in the Halifax Regional Municipality, dated in Halifax the first day of August 2023. Mike Savage, Mayor.
Happy Emancipation Day. Thank you so much for having me here today. I will be sharing a poem called Souls That Cannot Sing, and I will be featuring a Yoruba song by Taniala called Uyameya, and I hope that it will inspire reflection and evoke emotion. And it is my hope that through this performance we can collectively celebrate liberation and honor our shared history. Kajo, 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 kayo, kayo, kayo. Uyameya le uosan okami owe. Uyameya, uyameya, oh, uyameya le uosan okami owe. Uyameya, uyameya, oh, uyameya le uosan okami owe. Stretch our hands towards the endless sky, unsaid words hanging on open lips, eyes of longing, wondering what autonomy could be. Emancipation stretching eternally, past plantation fields, past slave ships. Over sorrowful hearts and wicked eyes, souls beckon to freedom. In the shape of a bird, in the form of a dove, to land in open palms, to set the chain free, to soothe calloused hands with shea butter, to lull us with ancestral music, to strengthen our hearts whole and complete, to find peace. To be equal as we are, no longer caged souls that cannot sing, but free, wandering ones, singing songs. Uya mea, oh, uya, uya mea le ua sa o kami oe. Uya mea, oh, uya, uya mea le ua sa o kami oe. For freedom we prayed, but shackles remained. Connecting with higher powers, we retain history and song, yearning for independence of the mind, body, and soul. Resilience and conviction did not allow our defeat. Like the shining of heaven's gates, freedom came bright as the shining of dawn on August 1. Souls of freedom and justice fly high just above Louisiana oak trees, intertwined with reed hearts that soar grandly. The words liberation, liberation, emancipation, unleashing spirits like the beating of African drums. Souls rise to witness the new dawn of dreams embraced, of dreams actualized. Truth can be won. Liberty will be held, not only through statues, but in the grasps of souls. The future beckons at the door as we honor those that went before, embracing their pain and their joy. With joy we celebrate. No longer caged souls that cannot sing, but free, wandering ones, singing songs. Uya mea, oh, uya mea le ua sa o kami oe. Uya mea, oh, uya mea le ua sa o kami oe. Thank you.
Thank you, Damini. Ariana. Please join us in the singing of Lift Every Voice while we raise the Pan-African flag.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou who has brought us thus far on the way, Thou who has brought Thy might, lead us into the light. Keep us forever in the path we pray. Let us start our feet straight from the places, our God, where we met Thee.
rest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadow beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
Thank you. Please join us inside for the remainder of the event. Thank you, and some light refreshments. Advisor of the African Nova Scotian Affairs Integration Office. And on behalf of myself and the DNI NCO team, we would like to thank you all for attending today. We all know that Emancipation Day is when Slavery Abolition Act of 1833 became law across the British Empire, including Canada on August 1st, 1834. And on this day, the practice of slavery officially ended for millions of African people and their descendants in Canada and around the world. Last year I spoke about the history of the Pan-African flag, that it consists of 3 colors, red, black, and green. And according to the UNIA, the red represents the color of blood that black people shed for liberation, which unites us all, people of African descent. And the black represents black people whose existence as a nation through a non-nation state is affirmed by the existence of the flag. And green represents the abundant natural wealth of Mother Africa. But by us all being here today, recognizing Emancipation Day, it also provides us with an opportunity to maintain ongoing meaningful dialogue around race relations and to celebrate the diverse heritage, culture, and contributions of African descent folks, not just across our municipality, but everywhere that we find ourselves. Emancipation Day provides us with another opening or opportunity to learn even more about the history of our distinct African Nova Scotian people and all people of African descent in our municipality. It's a way to continue to address and eradicate systemic anti-black racism. This is a time for us all to advocate for systemic change. Some people wonder, where can we start? Perhaps they might ponder that they're just one person and what can they do to eradicate such an overwhelming systemic issue? Well, for those of you who work for HRM, if you haven't taken the Reaching Out from an Afrocentric Place corporate training, we encourage you to do so. We provide that monthly training and would love to see you and your staff come and attend those sessions. And for those of you that have taken Reaching Out training and you are looking to continue your anti-black racism education, later in 2023 we'll have anti-black racism training available as well. And I say that to segue into this year's Emancipation Day theme. This year's theme is captured by the West African Adinkra symbol, Adinkra Hene, Chief of Adinkra. It literally is my favorite symbol, as you can see here today. It represents greatness, charisma, and most importantly, leadership. It's believed to have inspired the designing of other symbols, and therefore it signifies the importance of playing a leadership role. It is a reminder that leadership is key to effective change. Everyone can be a leader in what they do. You don't need a title to be a leader. We lead by example. An African proverb says, if you think you're leading and no one is following you, then you are just taking a walk. The symbol is an Afrocentric invitation to lead with compassion, to lead collaboratively, lead while building others. It's necessary that we create a ripple effect, just like you see on the symbol, to be able to provide truly meaningful change. Gone are the days when folks can bury their heads in the sand and pretend that anti-black racism isn't all around us. And here are the days that we do something about it. I'd also like to express our sincere gratitude today to Senator Wanda Thomas Bernard, who has attended our event here this morning on her birthday, may I add. Can we give Senator Bernard a round of applause? Our gratitude also goes out to Mayor Mike, who read the proclamation this morning, all councillors that have attended here today, our distinguished CAO, and others. And that just shows us that support elevates the message that we're trying to send here today. First and foremost, a special thank you goes out to the incredible and God-gifted talents that graced us here today. A heartfelt thank you to Jared Watton for the profound land acknowledgement. The beautiful sounds of Ariana Willis respecting the hymn Lift Every Voice and our Black National Anthem. The compelling drumming by Circle in the Square. Did you know that they're made up of a diverse group of folks from Uniacke Square? And some folks have drummed for years, some for months, and some for only a matter of days. Some of the members of the ensemble are just compelled to do the drumming because they feel it in their soul. We're blessed today to have both, not just one, but both of our Youth Poet Laureates with us. You've heard the soulful spoken words earlier by Damini, and now you're going to hear some very powerful words by Asia. Thank you to Russell Gross and Riel Williams of Black Cultural Center for providing our live streaming today. And a special shout out to my friend Ayo Aladejebi for his invaluable contributions to this year's Emancipation Day theme. Let's not forget the delectable delights brought to us by Opus Catering, which you are about to enjoy. In closing, let us remember the significance of Emancipation Day and the journey towards equality and freedom for all. Let these events serve as a reminder of our shared history and the importance of us coming together as a community. Remember, everyone can be a leader in eradicating anti-Black racism. I wish you all a wonderful and enlightening Emancipation Day. Please enjoy the words of Asia Sparks.
Hope everyone's doing well. Happy Emancipation Day. But I do want to talk a little bit of the African Nova Scotian experience. I am African Nova Scotian. I come from the historical Black community of Lake Queen Cherry Brook. Yeah. And I know for me, as African Nova Scotian, sometimes I just get this imposter feeling. I feel like no one knows I'm here. And it's a crazy feeling to have, and my ancestors have been here for 400 plus years, and people don't even know that I'm here. And this poem attests that experience, and I want to share that with all of you. This poem is titled Imposter. So, when I say this, I want you to know that I say this for the unknown, the imposters. This poem got erased across the Atlantic Ocean and lost on land that will never belong to us. This poem is Black, but it's just as Black can ever be. This poem is chained to colonial greed that has bonded the unknown parts of us. It knows not names of those before, Yoruba, Asante, Temne, no more, but only Black. It knows not places before, Barbados, Trinidad, Jamaica, no more. This poem knows segregation, colonial oppression that's been passed down through generation. And this poem knows strength and perseverance. This poem also knows how to live by any means necessary. This poem knows up home and out home, but it's unknown to the ones who are known. This poem lives in lost space and lost time. This poem is unknown, but it hits home to many. This poem is built on the backs of my ancestors that still choose to hide us in plain sight. This poem has lived on this land for 400 plus years, yet we are still an imposter in your eyes. So let me know, when will we be recognized and stop being hidden behind the lies and the genocide? When will you let us break free and rise? Asia Sparks.
Thank you so much, Asia. And before you head off to continue your reflections on Emancipation Day, a little plug about this evening's event. Please join us this evening at 5:45 to 9:30 p.m. You'll be captivated by the rhythmic beats and energetic dance moves and enchanting melodies of Wantanera drummers, Asia New Groove, Rhythm of Africa. There'll also be an opportunity for attendees to shop from the local Black vendors and snack from local Black vendors. And this evening's event is a partnership with Halifax Civic Events, ANSIO, as well as an assorted group of community collaborators with support from the Black Cultural Center and African Nova Scotian Affairs. This event is organized to commemorate Emancipation Day, and it promises to be an unforgettable experience for all attendees, so I hope to see you there. Enjoy your day.